So the topic is about vocabularies in turn, and also what vocabularies we have, and also what are our future directions. So firstly, I want to introduce the TERN a bit. So TERN is an increased project. It's Terrestrial Ecosystem Research Network. So we have more than 800 monitoring sites across Australia to monitor the status of Australian ecosystems. And the scale is local. We have local scale, regional scale, and continent scale with different level of the measurements. And why we want to use the vocabularies and also why we want to use the semantic approach, it is because the ecological data sets are collected from different parts of Australia and they are managed by different teams and they use menus and their menus are also different. So which cause an issue is like the data we received, they have different words, different terminologies for the same observation, like for the same variable. So make it different to integrate data from different states into one platform. So that's why we use the control vocabularies because we using one concept can represent one meaning, one variable. So which means all the data providers, data submitters, they can see whether other states, other teams are doing the same stuff. And also, we have the ontology, the semantic web approach to represent our field survey data. So this is because the triples, as long as our data sets are transferred into triples, they are machine readable. And also everything is linked with each other. So that is how real world works. Um, and one another feature about ontology semantic web is like it's extensible. So because ecological field surveys are evolving, every month there will be some new stuff coming. So it's extensible, so we can add new things gradually. Yeah. So for example, this one is like the structural formation classes. This table is just one example of the classes. Different teams, they call it like concepts differently. So a vocabulary for the structural formation classes and attached to each individual dataset. So it helps us to integrate the datasets. Yeah. So what kind of vocabularies we have? Firstly, we have the platforms. Platforms are where the data is collected from, and also where different teams they're working on the same stuff. I mean, like for example, some platforms are fixed, like flex towers. Some platforms are mobile, like the Earth observation satellites. And how we manage these platforms, we following the SOSA standards, and also we pull some GCMD platforms from RVA Research Vocabularies Australia, and we keep update to international standards. Mm, as you know, like scores, we also have scores vocabularies, like platform types. So it is used to classify platforms into different types. And similarly for instruments used to collect data, we follow the SSN standards and also has a scores concept scheme to classify the instruments. And for spatial regions, spatial or temporal resolutions, content types, we also have the vocabularies, and they are following the international standards. Mm, so project organizations, we have the project organizations and people for all of the data submitters. So we have the instances of every one who submit the data, every organization who manages the data, or who funded the data, owns the data, and projects. So this one helps to manage the credits for datasets. Um, Observations are like the main part of our vocabularies. So observations are people doing observations on the feature of interest, like measuring the height of the plant. So plant height, this is called the observed property or parameter in our vocabularies. And each of them has a method or a procedure linked with it. So which includes the steps of how we measure the variable. And also some of them has the units of measure. For example, the plant height, it has a meter as the unit of measurement. Yeah, so that is like part of the major part of our vocabularies. So you can say like everything is linked with each other. Platform has the feature of interest, which has observations, and then the observation is made by some instruments, made by some people, and it has the spatial regions, has the units of measurements. Yeah. Okay. The next one is the vocabulary coverage and also our source integration. We have 20 concept schemes covering different aspects of the ecological data sets. And the largest one is the parameters, as I mentioned. It has more than 6,000, covering from animal to plants, and also to some activities like interventions, actuations on the sites. And we also have collections for different purposes. For example, plant it has a status, whether it's dead or it's in some other growing status or it's mature. So, oops, sorry. And each of these observation, each of these parameter, it has a collection to indicate the categorical values for it. And we are not only managing our own vocabularies, we also use external sources to create vocabularies or to create vocabularies for us or for external projects. For example, we take the content from the Australian Soil and Land Survey Field Handbook. We use the values from it to build our vocabularies and to use it in our datasets. And for ENVIS, we create the vocabularies for ENVIS. ENVIS publish their um, vocabularies every year, and then we create the persistent identifiers and also the definitions, concepts, and organize them into one collection for every version. And other projects are like for QBIS. QBIS, we create vocabularies for them, and we also help them to publish their datasets into our platforms. Yeah. Yeah, and one important feature is like we pull vocabs from external resources, for example, the GCMD and CF standard names. But we also link the external links into our vocabularies. So we can manage our vocabularies locally. We can edit the vocabularies as we need it. And we also link with external resources to keep the interoperability. So users can know where it is from and then how to use it. And here is our like applications. We have three main applications. So this one is the source. The first one is when user submit their datasets, they can type any word here, and the relevant vocabulary, the parameter will be shown here, and they can select it and attach to their metadata records. So similarly, when the datasets is reviewed and then published, they can search the metadata records by the vocabulary term they attach to their metadata records. So like here, oops, they can select the ecosystem parameter and then go to the further step plant cover and further step vascular plant species cover, and other parameters. And if they click into it, it will directly redirect to the metadata record. So our vocabulary terms, it helps to search the metadata records published. And here is the EcoPlots. EcoPlots is the field survey applications. It has a site, the physical site ID and the date and dataset source of each of the dataset. And this left side column, it's a aggregation of all of the filters we have so far, and each of the filter is enabled by vocabularies. So like this feature type, we have the feature type scheme with all of the feature types, and they can filter by feature types. Okay. And this one is the technical architecture. It's not a menu about vocabularies, but it provides an overview of how we create our vocabularies, validate our vocabularies, and publish to our own viewer. So this viewer is using the service provided by Crewone AI, so the Praise vocab viewer. And we also publish to Research Vocabulary Australia to share with the whole community and our applications. Yeah. Yeah, so future steps. Firstly, we want to integrate the large language models into the vocabulary management workflow. This one is to enhance the semantic interface and also search capabilities, because we received some feedback from users. They mentioned like we have so many vocabularies and datasets, so they want to have a tool when they type some free text, some plain paragraphs. Our tool can identify what are the specific vocabularies and kind of metadata records they want. So this is our future step. And next future step is to publish all of our vocabularies to RVA. Currently, we have our main vocabularies published to RVA already. And next step is to publish all of them to RVA as long as it's able to, and to share with the whole community so we can link vocabularies with each other. And this is the first step to help to integrate vocabularies. And also to implement the version control for all of the vocabularies, especially for vocabularies which are updated periodically, like AVSIG, like they are going to publish the next version soon. So we're going to do version control in our vocabularies too. So yeah, last step is like to release the vocabulary change reports periodically to keep stakeholders informed, because our vocabularies are used by other projects, other organizations too. So they want to know the changes monthly, quarterly, or yearly. Yeah, yeah, thank you. That's all my presentation. And there are some resources links. I will paste it in the chat so you can explore it.